Everyone, my name is Lucy. I designed my 7-minute lesson to be for second graders, and the topic that I chose was identifying different states of matter, so solid, liquid, or gas. I would start the lesson just standing up in front of the class or sitting, whatever. Nothing on the board behind me, nothing on the screen, and I would just ask for their attention. So I would say, can I have all eyes on me, ears on me, listening ears on, something like that. And then I would pick up my water bottle and I would say, what is this? And they would answer a water bottle, and I would say, what's in it? And they would answer water. And then I would say, what's in your freezer at home? Or something like, what do you want to do if you want your drink to be cold, but it's warm? And they would say, put ice in it, or if there's ice in the freezer, something like that. And then I would say something like, does anyone here like mac and cheese? Because all kids like mac and cheese. And some of them would say yes. And I would say, do you ever see it made at home on the stove? And some would say yes. And I would say, do you ever see the steam coming out of the top of the pot? They would say yes. And then I would move on. And I would just do that just to, hook them in, grab their attention. And I made a short little PowerPoint. I didn't want my lesson to be like a lecture-based lesson just because kids' attention spans are really short. So here that is. So the objectives for this lesson will be students, they'll be able to tell a difference between a solid, a liquid, and a gas. Students will be able to give examples of changes of states in matter. So water freezing, water boiling, turning into steam. Students will be able to describe what happens if you heat or cool a liquid. I'd start out by saying, what is water? Does everyone know what water is? Obviously, everyone knows what water is. I would ask them what it feels like. Is it hard? And I mean, they would just probably laugh and say it feels like water because there's really no other way to describe it. And then I would ask them for examples of where they see water in real life. This is to make connections to their real life, just learning outside the classroom, basically just stuff we've been learning in class. And they would say, the shower, a river, ocean, I have a fishbowl here. Then I would move on to ice. I'd ask them, what is it? And then I would ask them just the same questions as water. This goes for water, ice, and steam or gas. I would ask them what it feels like. They would say cold, and then I would ask them where they can find it in real life. I mean, ice cream, ice, snow, outside. Same thing for steam. I put steam instead of gas because I think steam is more easily identifiable, but I would make sure that they knew that it was gas, the proper term. I would ask them what they is. I would ask them if they know what steam is. This one might be a little bit more tough, so I might have to do a little bit more explaining. And I would ask them what it feels like, if you've ever felt it. Ask students where they could find steam in real life. So, I mean, boiling water, a hot drink, maybe hot chocolate or something. Kids know what trains are. This is cooking. And then after that intro, I would just go into explain that ice, gas, and water, they're all the same. They're just different states of matter. Before this lesson, I would have done a lesson maybe the day before about what matter is, just so they have a base before we go into this. And I would probably ask them, are ice, steam, and water the same thing? And they would say no, just because to the visual eye they're not. And then I would just go into explain that they're all water, just different states. And then I would explain how water goes from a solid to a liquid to a gas. I'm not going to do that today just because I want more time to explain other things, but it would just probably be a video or a short PowerPoint, or even like an activity where I could have kids kind of act like molecules and, you know. And then I would do a group activity. So I would pass out the activity, and it would just be a cut and paste activity. And they would have to cut out the little pictures and place them, glue them into the categories of what they were. So if something is a solid, it goes in a solid. If something's liquid, it goes in the liquid. And I would have them work in groups. I mean, this just promotes discussion, expression of opinion, and, you know, they could talk about it, make real life connections like that. And I would also have stations set up around the room for either the entirety of the lesson or maybe the entirety of the day, just to make more real life connections, something that's not just on paper that they have to copy down or memorize. I would put water in a cup, and I would draw a line where the water is, and I would put it by a window, hopefully that some of the water would evaporate so students could see the water going down from where I drew the line. And I would put a cup with ice out. Maybe I would keep this out the whole day just so the students could see that the ice was melting, or I could take pictures at the beginning of the day and the end of the day and I could show them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you like my lesson.